Welcome back. A 4-page open letter from the Concerned Citizens Advocacy Group was dispatched last month to the Prime Minister, Minister for Planning, Minister of Tourism and Chair of the DCA, seeking clarification on the Queen's Chain lease along the northeast coast of Cap Estate, Casaba, and the Cabot project. According to one group member who goes by the name Adex, the Minister for Planning, Stevenson King, acknowledged the letter and afforded the group a sit-down this week to discuss the listed concerns.
On Thursday, March 17th, the Concerned Citizens Advocacy Group dialogued with Minister for Planning, Stevenson King, to seek clarification on a number of concerns ranging from securing present and future access to coastal assets to how Cabot will compensate for damages to the Queen's Chain. Member of the group, Adex, says the meeting served its purpose and the group appreciated the opportunity to voice their concerns.
We sat with the Minister of Physical Development and the Permanent Secretary to discuss our concerns that we sent in an open letter. Unlike the last administration, this administration took the time to meet with us, and we highlighted the importance of developing constructive and productive dialogue. The meeting was positive and provided substantial information and detail on the concerns we raised and to the issues this administration inherited from the former government. The primary concern was the revocation of Cabot's leases, which the Minister of Physical Development had made public in the Houses of Parliament. And we were discussing the Queen's Chain and the deep excavations that are taking place on site within the Queen's Chain.
Adex says the efforts of the group and this meeting was simply to ensure the rights of citizens remain protected.
Like any relationship, there will be highs and lows, and yesterday was one of the highs with mutual dialogue and concerns on sustainable development of St. Lucia. Many hacks have attempted to use our efforts to try and make it a political football, but we as a group remain a non-partisan group, and we focus on ensuring that as St. Lucians we protect the lives and livelihoods, the air, soil, ocean, sea, and the beaches that we love.
The specifics of what exactly transpired in the meeting were not disclosed. However, the group indicated that it sought clarity on the confirmation that the entire Queen's Chain would be released back to the state with a legal framework to ensure that the Queen's Chain cannot be leased in the future. The group also called for Cabot to withdraw all works, including the golf course, real estate, and any other behind the inland limit of the Queen's Chain, and to restore any damages in areas where permissions for works were not authorized. Reporting for the Hot 7 TV News, I am Jasmine Duncan.
And the Cabot-Marjorie deal is seemingly convoluted and tainted along political lines. Many are asking what exactly was Cabot paying for when they handed Marjorie a check to evacuate lands not owned by her and falling within the Queen's Chain. During an interview on Hot 7's The Hot Seat, Chairman of the Development Control Authority, Ignatius Jean, acknowledged that ownership cannot be transferred for property that is not owned. Therefore, Cabot's arrangement with Marjorie to a different location with the promise of a landowner's title remains unclear.
I do not know whatever transactions the developer and Marjorie would have had, but I know that the government of St. Lucia has decided to acquire the strip of land that runs alongside the Cotton Bay, because this is his private land owned by Cabot that takes you to the beach. So the government has decided to acquire this parcel and to make it a public access. So it will be registered in the name of the people of St. Lucia, as it is called the Crown, that those parcels, and there will be a road properly constructed and paved, and there will be also proper parking facilities, because this thing about people driving all over the beaches, these are things that we also have to put under control, and it is the intention of the government to do just that.
While the current location of Marjorie's restaurant and bar falls within the Queen's Chain, Just says the decision by Cabot to pay her to move is not mandated by the DCA.
To the best of my knowledge, Marjorie does not own the Queen's Chain. She's a tenant of the Crown Lands. The Commission of Crown Lands has an annual rental sort of arrangement. So it's not an emphyteutic lease of 75 years as Cabot has on some of its properties. Okay? So that could not be transferred as far as the law is concerned. So I'm not getting into that. That is a private arrangement. That is not a DCA matter per se, but I'm just explaining to the public what transpired.
Jha says the role of the DCA remains clear and it will support the decisions of the government and is guided by the Physical Planning and Development Act.
DCA has given approvals. This current board and the previous board has given approvals for the construction of the golf course, which is a big attraction. They have all the other infrastructure they're supposed to put in with all the apartments and so on and the residences. They have complied in the main. They are being monitored regularly and they have been given approvals for these. So it is not like we're chasing off the developer, but we have to be able to find amicable arrangements so that all of us, the developer and St. Lucians, can all come out in a win-win situation and everybody will be happy. This is what the objective is.
According to Jha, due to the government's responsibility to ensure citizens have access to the beach, asking Marjorie to move so as to allow Cabot to enjoy the Queen's Chain would be a breach of her rights. He says, therefore, the negotiations between Cabot and Marjorie are independent of the government and the DCA intervention. Reporting for the Hot 7 TV News, I am Jasmine Duncan.
During a press conference on Thursday, UWP and opposition leader Alan Chastney outlined a 6-point plan for government to reduce the economic burden on citizens. According to Chastney, the high cost of living is an issue which continues to afflict all sectors of our society. The United Workers' Party, he says, in the first instance, is calling on the government to continue and expand on the electricity bill support initiative that was carried out at the height of the COVID-19 pandemic by the UWP administration. Secondly, the government is called on to extend a helping hand to farmers and provide seeds, fertilizer, and animal feed to bolster local livestock and crop production. The UWP is also recommending an immediate reduction on VAT, the freezing of the current price of gas, and the scrapping of recent gas price increases. The final point of the UWP's proposal is for the government to make good on the promised $1,500 income support to many small businesses and self-employed individuals. According to Chastney, the road to economic recovery is a long journey that requires help for the vulnerable along the way. Mention a steel pan in St. Lucia, and of late the name Chazzy comes up. The young man's popularity has soared thanks to social media platforms where he can be found throwing down various melodies on his steel pans at scenic locations. Following his return from Expo Dubai, Hot 7 sat with Chazzy and spoke on his experience as he shared advice to other young creatives.
From a tender age, musical sensation Shazzy DeRiviere was consumed by music and the arts. He says he was introduced to the art form by his father, who also happens to be a musician. Many may have seen DeRiviere across all social media platforms, creating sweet melodies on his steel pan as he recreates various songs of different genres. While he may be widely associated with playing steel pan, the 20-year-old says he is very versatile in the arts.
As young as a baby, I was out on performances with him in the background, and by the age of 4 or 5, he started teaching me steel pan. So that's how I got into the whole music realm, and then I took it on from there, going into drums, trumpets, school of music, producing, everything.
For DeRiviere, music is a way of life. Despite that, he says there are many challenges that he has faced while trying to expose his craft to the world.
First of all, music is my passion. So I'll tell you that straight. Everything I do, music. Academics, I put music over there. So yeah, music, it is truly what I'm in love with. It is how I express myself. It is how I generate income as well. I mean, there are not really any avenues for me to portray my skills locally or to develop them as well. Besides School of Music, that's a whole other story. But besides that, there was truly nothing here in St. Lucia, to my knowledge, that is. So for the youth, what we could do is probably have, like I said, the avenues to teach them, nurture them, keep them at it. Because if my dad wasn't there, who would, push me for music? And I did have to somewhat put myself out there. That's where social media came in. So that's what the world is moving into, technology. So that's why I took the opportunity to put my skills out there. But everyone isn't gonna, take that route. So locally, that we should have the avenues for the young.
De Riviere was part of the contingent that graced Dubai earlier this year for Expo Dubai 2020. He says the opportunity provided him with a multiplicity of opportunities and is thankful that Export St. Lucia made this game-changing opportunity possible. By his account, he believes he represented St. Lucia to the best of his ability.
It is my performance. I have to put out the best performance out there, so I did have to rehearse, adapt to the environment, the challenges we face. I faced numerous challenges, actually, whether it be we missing a part for a laptop, we missing sound equipment. We just had to adapt to the environment. The entire day, I was confident. When I got on that stage and they told me I'm next, confidence out of the window, honestly. But once I started playing, I got into it, the soul, the passion, everything was just flowing. However, when I got to talking, as I'm talking right now, I don't talk when I perform. I'm strictly a musician, I'm playing, That was me conquering fears, actually. This right here is me conquering fears as well, so yeah. Besides that, the performance was amazing, the crowd interaction, the energy, everything in Dubai was just amazing.
He believes that coming out of Dubai, many more doors will open not just for him and the other performers, but St. Lucia as a whole. He is encouraging anyone, the youth in particular, with a passion for the arts to dare to dream, then get up and chase their dreams.
When we think of the creative industry, it's usually like, singing or just a hobby, a side hobby for most people, but people fail to realize that could actually be your career. You could be the next Beyonce out there truly making the bag. But besides money, if it is your passion, you should really go for it. Whatever makes you happy, you should go for it.
Reporting for Hot 7 News, I am Genevieve Gonzague.
We are due for another break. When we come back, we have more news plus the weather update.